The transfer market is heating up, and with each passing day, more and more new and old names seem to pop up. This one may remind you from last season. Is it the 2019-2020 season all over again? Ciao, Bianconeri. You're in the Bianconeri Zone. I'm Justin Sofro, and today is Wednesday, June 2nd. We're going to jump into these news, and we're going to hit all the bullet points. We're starting off with the biggest topic, the main topic for the day. Right now, the rumor seems to be that Milinkovic-Savic is an opportunity to potentially come to Juventus. Giovanni Albanese is reporting that with the arrival of Sadi at Lazio, Milinkovic-Savic could leave. Among the teams looking to seize the possible opportunity there is also Juventus. Allegri likes the player a lot, and he would like the Juventus destination, a situation to be monitored. We don't have a lot going on with this yet. We don't really, nothing is concrete when it comes to this. But I was going over some of the statistics with Milinkovic-Savic, and, he could be a name that could definitely be a big bolster to the midfield. It just would depend on that price of what Lazio would be asking for his departure. As it stands, I was going through some of his stats, and for the Serbian, I believe last season he in Serie A he had 10 assists and 8 goals, which is a lot better than a lot of our current. A lot of our current midfielders are contributing. That would put him tied for third place with Federico Chiesa at 8 goals behind Alvaro Morata and, of course, Cristiano Ronaldo. Definitely a lot more contribution from him that we can expect than what we're currently getting. I would like to see him, see how he pair up with Manuel Locatelli and see how they would do together if they both were land Juventus. He's definitely a player that I would be interested in. I'd probably take him. We'll have to see where this goes, just a situation to monitor. Of course, I'd say, more and more, we're just going to keep hearing names. Some of them may not be, there might not be a lot of concrete evidence, but it seems to be a pretty good source that's reporting this. So just situation to monitor. Moving on, Gazzetta dello Sport is talking about Dybala's new deal. There's reporting that Juventus are ready to renew Dybala's contract until 2025 at $10 million a season. Meeting with the agent plan in the coming days. I'm personally happy about this. Dybala is one of my favorite strikers. I think he really showed what he could do last season. Or when I say last season, the 2019-2020 season. Unfortunately, he was just hampered by injuries all 2021, all through this year. And unfortunately, never really got a moment to shine. I think, especially if we're moving toward a Morata, Dybala, starting front, I think that's a great way to go. I just hope he can stay healthy for the coming season. But no, definitely, I think Dybala has earned Juventus's support. And going along with that, the Ronaldo saga continues. Gazzetta dello Sport is also reporting that should PSG fail to find an agreement with Mbappe, they will go for Cristiano Ronaldo, with Icardi being a potentially going the other way. Obviously, with Ronaldo, the situation, I understand. If he's going to go, he's going to go. I don't know if Icardi's really one that I'm interested in, that I personally want to see in the Juventus uniform, especially with his wife and the issues that come along with that. I'm not big on Icardi. I don't really know that that's a way that Juventus really needs to go right now. 7 goals, 4 assists for a striker, kind of, very average. But he only had 20 appearances. I want to say, was he injured? Somebody could let me know. I can't recall, but I just don't know if Icardi is the way that I would go right now for any kind of striker or any kind of center forward that we're looking for. Especially, he's also 28, so he's getting closer and closer to that 30-year mark. I think we need to go younger. I understand that when it comes to midfield for I believe Milinkovic-Savic, he's 26, so he's a little bit closer to the 20. It's in the midline of his 20s rather than closer to his 30s. So moving on, Gazzetta dello Sport is also reporting that Szczesny is on the short list for Roma currently, as well as a few English Premier clubs have shown interest. At this point, when it comes to landing Donnarumma, that seems to be one of the big sticking parts. If Juventus knows that they can get Donnarumma and Szczesny can go that way, I'm all for it. Let's just get it done, please. If Szczesny, he hasn't been terrible as a keeper, but there are a few moments down the stretch where I just think Szczesny was a bit unreliable on the goal. But I mean, obviously the main goal, I think, as most Juventus fans and obviously Italian fans, is we want to get Donnarumma in goal for next season, and let's hopefully that works out. Tudor Sport is reporting that De Ligt and Chiellini are in the eyes of Allegri as the starters for the backfield, with Bonucci remaining in the background as a substitute for either one of those whenever they get injured or need to be pulled near the end of the match. I agree. I definitely understand De Ligt is, especially if we're talking about making him a captain moving forward. It makes sense to continue him in the starting lineup. Chiellini has more than proven his salt over the few years, especially if he has one more season. I think he definitely can still play at a pretty high level. He locked down Lukaku multiple times last season, so he can play with the best of them. It's unfortunate for Bonucci that he's getting sidelined, especially being an interim captain and the secondary captain for the team. But I feel like this is definitely Juventus and Allegri showing their support for De Ligt and locking him down for the future, regardless of all the different rumors you may hear from Barcelona fans all over the place. Another story, I know that the Italian national team, they revealed all the players for their 26-man roster for the Euros going forward. We'll do more coverage on the Euros once it gets closer. I think it's June 11th when that kicks off. But we did see multiple faces and names that are associated with Juventus to keep an eye on. Obviously, Federico Chiesa, Bernardeschi, Chiellini, Bonucci, as well as we got Donnarumma and Locatelli out there playing. So keep an eye on them, see how they perform. I would like to see us lock down. Donnarumma seems more likely given he's a free transfer, but given Locatelli, hopefully he performs well. But at the same time, I'd be nervous about that price getting going up. Especially, it seems that he has multiple suitors currently, especially with, I believe it's PSG, some of the bigger names, Man City, that are interested, as well as Juventus. I'm hoping that the reports remain true that Juventus is where he has his eye on. And the last story for the day involves a former Juventus player and Juventus coach now, in the situation ongoing from the overturn in the staff from last year to this year. Basically, Tudor kind of came out and said, I'll read off a quick statement that what he gave and then kind of give you my thoughts. But basically said it was tough, but in the end, we managed to qualify for the UCL. We also won Coppa Italia, and yet they kicked us out. I'm sorry, and I don't think it's fair, but I've decided one thing. I will never be anyone's assistant again. There was a list of 5 names compiled by Juventus, and Pirlo decided. He chose me. But because he's a good friend of Baronio, he took him and put us all on the same level. It wasn't right. I'm a coach. But I accepted because it was Juve. I have the title, and I've coached okay. Let's skip over these. I know Udinese. I don't know how to pronounce that correctly. And Udinese, while no one on the staff had coached at a club before. I only accepted these internal rules and conditions of it because it was Juventus. So it's unfortunate to see, especially someone of Igor Tudor's stature, feeling slighted or wronged by Juventus and Andrea Pirlo. Obviously, I felt like they kind of knew what they were getting into, especially once you got down the line where, yes, you made the UCL, but you're coming off of 9 straight Scudetto wins, and then you finish in 4th place. Especially if they're going to get Allegri, that they're going to make a move. I'm honestly surprised they didn't make a move earlier in the season, but that's kind of it's a good showing of what Juventus that they stick by their coaches at least to the end of the season. Maybe not for the next season. But at the same time, I completely understand why he feels slighted and why he maybe disrupted his life to move to Juventus, to think that he can maybe build up his life and career under Andrea Pirlo, who, being a new coach, kind of was coming into this without a lot of expectations, because you kind of know he doesn't have all that experience. He doesn't have all the capabilities that maybe Conte had, but he can get there. So I think maybe he feels slighted because, I mean, you could argue, especially with what we have here in America, the way coaches usually do. If you're going to give a new coach a contract, you're going to stick by him at least 2 years. Mostly, it's usually 3 years is what you give them, and then you decide to move on. But I think Juventus, especially with you have Ronaldo, which regardless of how that situation is going to turn out, and then you have the rest of the squad. You have an aging squad, and then you're trying to rejuvenate it, as well as the expectations of Champions League, as well as expectations to go back and win the Scudetto again. We don't want to have another, however many years drought. We want to, I would like to continue that streak again. So it's kind of you need to be able to win now. So overall, it's unfortunate, but I wish Igor Tudor the best. That's all the news I have for you today, but check in with us tomorrow and we get the latest roundup covering Juventus, all things Juventus. If some big news breaks, I may put out another video. We're all holding with bated breath when it comes to Donnarumma. Please like the video and subscribe, as it really helps the channel grow, especially with it starting out currently. And don't forget to hit that bell to stay up to date with notified as soon as our latest videos drop. Follow Bianconeri Zone on Twitter and Instagram, as well as Facebook at Bianconeri Zone, and follow me on Twitter at Justin Sofro. Forza Juve, Forza Bianconeri.